Hello, my name is Enrique,
Hello, my name is Fethullah.
and this is the first Tomorrow's Guardian show.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, let's see what's happening out there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so, wait. Mm, just looking for something. No. Shit. Okay. New Delhi, right? Pollution reaches unbearable levels in India's capital. Let's see what the levels are, right?
That's
Okay.
really crazy, man.
Like I've experienced this, but let's see what pollution in the Indian capital of New Delhi reaches its highest level so far this year on Sunday. Fuck. Uh, which the city declared a public health emergency, obviously. Okay, the air quality index in the world's most polluted city has registered a score of more than 900.
Oh, that's really high.
I've never experienced anything more than 200. 900 must be insane.
Of course.
Far beyond the score of 500, which is qualified as severe plus. I don't know the scales, but I remember the feelings.
It seems like really painful right now for the Indian residents. I mean,
Just imagine the work conditions, right?
yeah.
Because, like I've told you before, and I'll tell you guys as well, I've been in Beijing before, and the pollution level was 200, maybe a bit at worst. And it's like you just ate a teaspoon of ash.
That's really harsh condition for the some people around the world right now, I guess.
Man, and you can feel it. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Levels above 4 on the air quality index puts people with breathing problems at risk of illness and can even severely affect those with health lungs. This is obvious. Just imagine like more than I don't know, a ton of people have asthma problems, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also, I mean, like, dear Peters, it affects really badly of the human lives in in terms of
Like
healthcare, in terms
everyday
of
living, right?
everyday life, everyday living,
And the thing is, most buildings don't have a CO2 filter. So you need to wear a mask, and the mask doesn't last long. Trust me, I know. I used to buy the cheap ones, the expensive ones. After a whole day of an intense carbon emissions day, that thing's yellow. It's really difficult. Just to imagine all the money these people are spending just to breathe. That makes no sense, guys.
maybe Indian government and the Chinese government are struggling to resolve this problem right now, as I see. Because they have really huge population, and
I can only speak for what I've seen. In Beijing, they've got a ton of new projects of setting up new forests or growing a ton of new trees and new parks they're building inside. But I don't know what's the situation in India or Delhi. And the thing is, I've got a good friend there. I should probably ask him how he's going.
maybe you should call him and warn him that it's really dangerous condition right now in India, and maybe he should move to other country.
For anyone that's now in Delhi or any India areas, obviously, I hope you get through this and may your health get out of this. You know, we're all thinking of you. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. What if? Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, we have another problem in Iraq right now. That protesters block roads in Baghdad with burning tires and barbed wire. It's a typical atmosphere again in Middle East, unfortunately. Middle East suffers these things at least 100 years. Just 100 years. It's a terrible.
It's a difficult land to make any profit, and
Yes.
because of that, obviously, the country is suffering and trying to provide jobs. And what's the reason? It's probably that, right? What's the reason they're protesting?
It's the reason is that
Oh man, no ways. So basically, it's saying we're trying to paraphrase because there's a ton of information. Like Iraq is struggling to provide enough labor, jobs for everyone.
Like in the capital, protesters have taken over a large tower in Tahrir Square that was abandoned after it was damaged in the 2003 United States-led invasion. More than but the bad part is, guys, friends, more than 250 people have been killed so far in two waves of demonstrations since early October. While the protests are mostly directed at political elites, because they pose a challenge for Iran, which has close ties to the government.
Of course. You can just imagine like the productivity problem they have in that country because of
Like,
just the everyday situation. What's the families going through right now?
I see, like, as I see right now, I know some Iraqi people because of this bad situation in Iraq. They go to Germany or some other European countries in order to apply for an asylum.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
If something's that bad, you
yeah,
should definitely consider going and applying for asylums. And the thing is, in this type of situations, they won't deny you, I think. Obviously.
of course they can't deny, like, because Iraq has one of the worst passports right now in the world. Iraq, it's one of the last. I checked it from the website. I mean, from the
Well, compared to its history, of course. Like it's not easy getting from where they came from, like nothing, just villages, maybe farms, to getting into the modernized world. Because they had obviously problems, and America did have an influence in that. But hopefully, in the next coming years, there will be enough jobs for everyone. And my heart goes to the families, right?
yeah, same. Like, I don't know how this thing will be solved, but like, literally, since these protests, many people are dying. Many people are
In the
affected.
last month, I know there's almost 300 people like got killed during the protest. Just because there's nothing they can do. They need the money, they need to eat, they all got families, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
So our next topic is about, literally, cookies in space.
Obviously, the astronauts are having a bunch of cravings.
Owen sent to ISS, International Space Agency, for baking experiments.
And what are they trying to bake?
Astronauts are set to test what impact high heat and zero gravity have on the shape and consistency of the cookies. The experiment is being dubbed the first instance of baking in space. I mean,
I'm so sorry. The first thing I'm thinking of is like floating factories that pumping out cookies. Just imagine like if it tastes amazing. All right. But the first thing I would do is obviously pizza immediately. Just do my best.
like pie would be a good choice, maybe also apple pie. I'm not sure.
Incredible. Talking about like these big companies doing like these insane things of technology, obviously. Google had an idea of to buy Fitbit, and it's not for nothing. It's like for 2.1 billion dollars. What's the?
Do you know the thing that I used Fitbit, not that much, but I guess it has a potential to be grown.
I think
This
that
application.
they're gonna streamline that thing to the bone, send some updates, and just think of all the information they can use. So for them, I can see them making some very improvements on it.
Like Fitbit is an application. Maybe you know that. Like it's a step counter application. Like when you go outside, maybe like in the morning around 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. You use this application, this app to step to count your steps, like while you listen to your music. And like I guess as you know that Mark Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
uh, not Mark Zuckerberg. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it. It's like
Well, obviously the future I think is gonna be gear and Fitbit as a watch. It's already amazing. How old is Fitbit now? Almost like 5 to 8 years.
yeah, I guess it's around 5 years.
So they're gonna take it to the next level, obviously. I cannot wait to see what is Google gonna do with Fitbit's whole enterprise, right?
Mm.
Okay. Wait, let me check. I don't know if you've heard, but like in the weekend or last week, they found a guy with they retrieved cannabis weed from a man's nose that was there for 18 years after he tried to smuggle it into prison. Okay, wait. Yeah. His doctor reported on the unique case in a paper published in the British Medical Journal under the heading of A Nose Out of Joint. Okay. According to the lead author, Dr. Murray Smith of Westmead Hospital in Australia, the patient was first given the cannabis inside a rubber balloon when his girlfriend visited him in prison. Where did you keep that? But okay. The man inserted the package into the right nostril to hide it from the prison guards and smuggled it into the facility. Right, man, he must have been popular, but he had it for 18 years. So, no.
It's a really interesting topic. Like
People go to some extent to get high. Okay.
some people, I heard that some people even eat that like those kind of things, cannabis, weed, in order to smuggle
Yeah.
from one side to other side.
I
from one
watch so
country to
many
another country.
programs and I've experienced it myself. Like they do really go to extreme lengths to like get it into different countries, but it's expensive. Like you will find balloons and stuff, and what? Like for what? You go to 15 years to jail? No, man. No.
But to be honest, I guess in some, not in all, in other like not in all countries, not in all countries, but in some countries, small part of this drug, I mean cannabis, weed, something
Yeah.
like these things should be decriminalized.
Just they should definitely take off the extreme laws
Yes,
of it.
extreme laws.
Like,
Because
yeah, what if you have a weed card and it's pretty like it's important in your life, and then you go to like I don't know China where there's nothing. You need it, right? Sometimes, some cases.
like because I thought that it will decrease the crime rates if we legalize and decriminalize these kind of small parts of the drugs, cannabis or weed, what like those kind of things. Like because many countries right now in the world suffer from these things. Their crime rate is really high. Like I mean,
And
people.
that's only because of smuggling.
Yes,
It's only reason.
and
One of the reasons.
one of the reasons, and like people kill each other because of this drug thing. I mean,
The laws that obey
Yeah.
over it. If it was, it would be a lot less tension. saving people, I think, obviously.
I heard that Georgia, the country one, I mean the country one, decriminalized and legalized a small portion of the drugs in 2018, as I remember. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good thing for this country.
Like most countries, they allow them to grow and use on your own property, but trading is illegal, obviously.
Yeah,
But I prefer that though. Like growing and working to do it yourself, that makes you think, obviously. And that's perfect. You know, you don't need to buy it, but just legalize it in every country to grow it. That would help a ton. But related to this guy, 18 years with like weed in his nose. The only reason they found out about it is because he had a headache, and the doctor took a CT scan and discovered the rubber balloon,
yeah.
right? The things people go through. Mm. Tell me, do you have anything left?
For this time, no, I don't
Okay.
have anything.
I just have one more, right? This
Yeah.
one is like either it's super deep and we have no clue at all, or we just like it's too many aspects. But listen to this. Chinese hackers had access to entire network text message. I'm not just saying like everyone's no. These guys were targeting government officials and getting all the information they got. They didn't go for like, you know, weird shit. They went in and they got out with some serious important information from the government, Chinese government. I don't know what their intentions are, but
I guess maybe some groups, some parties, some societies, like, or maybe one person, or maybe two people, trying to, I mean, smuggle these documents,
Yeah.
these files from the Chinese government in order to sell maybe
yeah.
other countries' intelligence services.
Well, all you need is a computer. If you know how and you need the money, sell information, right?
Because from these information they can get easy money.
But that's still terrible. What if it's like really dangerous information?
Some people are really crazy and have courage to do these things, man. As I see.
Just imagine like those people. They're probably just normal like us, but they've got these secret gifts, right? Secret intentions. They're secretly interesting.
Like in my experience, friends, guys, I have seen that if you suffer in some period of time, if you suffer from the poverty, normal things after the time passes come normal to you. Like abnormal, not normal things, come normal to you because of the poverty.
And
The
obviously,
reason, obviously.
poverty, I think, is like one of the most main reasons anything ever happens, obviously. And like this person, he probably just needed the money. He met some weird groups and they taught him or used him to find a way to do and make money.
Yeah.
Like just imagine how valuable the information is of government officials to other countries. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed our discussions, our opinions on the news this weekend. We will probably see you tomorrow, and this was the Tomorrow's Guardian show.
This is Fethullah.
This is Enrique.
See you tomorrow.